All right, thanks for your time today. Thanks for your time today, Atif. It's been quite a while since I've met you in person. But obviously, things have changed for you now. Where I first knew you as a boxer, now you started doing different things. Can you tell us about some of the projects you're working on?
Yeah, no, thanks for the invite. It's been a while. Nice to see you looking as young as ever. And yeah, I'm no longer in the ring now, working on the other side of the ropes. So I recently set up a boxing club with my friend Abdul Majid Kash Ali's younger brother, IBF European Heavyweight Champion, his younger brother. So me and him have got a gym together now in Rotherham for the community. It's in, on Old Walk Lane. We get a good mix of kids in. So that's an evening thing for me. And then I also work in schools during the day. I've set up like a boxing program helping kids deal with issues such as anger management or confidence, anxiety, resilience, self-esteem. So work on them two categories there. So work in 4 or 5 different schools during the week as well. We're helping kids in school time. So my life's boxing again.
Well, that sounds amazing. From your experience, what do you think are some of the biggest problems for young people, and why do you think so many people can't? You get people that can't really control their emotions. I remember you see in boxing, you're seeing adults, you're seeing Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren argue all the time. Like you're big men. Like you shouldn't be talking to each other like that. But what have you what have you experienced regarding young people?
I think obviously the times have changed now, haven't they? So we've got 20-year-olds that were born in 2002. It don't feel real, does it?
No.
So it's like I said, the times have changed. Social media, everyone's expectations of life and reality are very, very different. And I think just the struggling is again, the change of times has massively impacted not just my generation, the older generation, but more so the younger generation coming up now. And it's things like boxing there can help them just find a direction in life, give them an outlet to release some energy, some steam. Again, nowadays everyone's just sat on computers and phones rather than actually playing out. No one goes out on a bike ride with their friends no more. They're all sat on Fortnite and sat on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. So it's just a physical release that they need. I think that they're lacking.
No, yeah, I agree. Things have, I mean, I'm 31 now, and yeah, things have changed so much. You didn't really have all this stuff when we were
It's,
young.
what,
Hmm?
you're still looking 21.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, Lerone Richards told me that yesterday. But yeah, look, it's a different world. But tell us about your history. I saw an interview you did. You say Kell Brook saved your life. How did you first get involved with the Ingle Gym?
So I started boxing at a local gym in Rotherham called Malthouse ABC with Tommy Wilson. I think I was 30. I was there for a couple of seasons. I think in my first season as an amateur there, I had 18 fights in one amateur season. And then my second season, I had 16. And after I think it was 34 fights, I then decided to move over to the Ingle Gym, obviously well renowned. I was a big fan of Prince Nassim Ahmed. And at the time, I think Kell Brook was just becoming British champion. So when I went over there, I was 15, I think. And he literally Keller just won. It just beat, I think it was Kevin McIntyre for the British title. Junior weight just got beat by Timothy Bradley. So I was there from 15 up to 25 years old. I've been at the Ingle Gym. Amateur, I had another, 25, 30 fights there. And then at 18, Dominic Ingle said, look, we're turning you pro. So I turned pro, and then the rest is history. I think my career ended 21 wins and 3 losses. Not too bad. I enjoyed my time there. Got a lot of experiences, a lot of fun memories. And we just pass on to the next generation now.
That sounds amazing. How well do you know Kell Brook? I mean, what impact has he had on you?
Yeah, Kel was more of a friend. Again, I've known him from being 15 years old up until 25. We spent a lot of time together. So I've been on training camps. When Kel beat Sean Porter, I was on the training camp for that. We went to Vegas, 2 weeks in Vegas, 1 week in California. I was there when at Kel's highest of highs, when he beat Sean Porter for the world title. I've been to almost every fight. I think from Love More and Do, from that fight at Hillsborough Lacent, I've been at every single one of Kel's fights and involved in every single one of the camps. So obviously, we built a pretty good relationship. And with the wrist injury, so we were on a training camp. I think it was before the Rafael Djakovic fight. I'm not sure what fight it was. The one at the Sheffield Arena. I was meant to be on the undercard. We used to do bike rides up in Spain, Canary Islands, 80-mile bike rides, torture, hard work, very, very hard work up in the mountains.
Wow.
And at that time, it was me, Dom, Kid Galahad, Adam Etches, and Kel. Yeah, it was that was the five that were out there on that camp. So that was at Fort Ventura. And me and Kel decided to go take a bit of a diversion, went up to the peak of the mountain, had a little look at the scenery, and then coming back around that bend, I had not done that ride before. And I misjudged the bend and fell off the bend, got back up. I thought I'll just, in my head while I was falling, I thought, I'll get back up, jump on my bike, carry on. I got up and I couldn't feel my hand. I looked down and my bone was hanging out my wrist.
Oh, yeah.
Got a little, there's a picture on my Instagram page of the actual scar at the time. So I got up and shouted, Kel. Kel looked back. He stopped, come running back, and as soon as he saw my hand, he was like this. I couldn't look at it at first. Calmed down, rang Dom. Dom didn't believe us. Then we flagged down a couple of cars. A couple of the people, they saw my hand and they drove off. They thought,
Oh, yeah.
Then the third young couple, it was a young male and female. They got us in the car and dropped us off to the hospital. Kel was with me at this time. Kel obviously helped me through it. And I had 2 operations out in Fort Ventura, and then I had 2 further when I got back to the UK. And they said I'd never fight again. But a year later, I was back in the ring, and I had another decent 3 years, I think, after the injury. But my hand was never the same again. And a year or 2 later, it was declining quite rapidly. Again, I had a checkup end of 2019, and they said, look, your cartilage is almost zero. That's why that was the pain I was dealing with every day in, day out. At the end of a week of training, I was in a lot of pain. But I just put it to the back of my mind. But yeah, end of 2019, they said, look, you've got arthritis, your cartilage, you've already got any cartilage left in your joint. If you keep going, we're going to have to fuse the whole joint. And at that time, to be honest, I did all right. I look back at my career, reflecting, I thought, from where I was, from where I started to what I got to see and what achievement-wise was all right, not too much. It's a shame I never got to win that English title when I beat Lee Appleyard. He was the champion at the time. But I've got no regrets. I'm content with what I achieved, and now I'm happy to pass on the lessons that I learned, spending 10 years with Brendan Ingle and at the Ingle gym, pass them lessons over to the younger kids now. Something that they're lacking.
Yes, it's obviously a great thing to do. I didn't mean to accidentally interrupt, but it's just when you said something, you said someone drove off on you. That's very disappointing. And for me, I'm not trying to show off, but anyone watching this video, whenever I see homeless people, like, I don't mind buying food. Like, I don't like giving money out because I don't know what you're going to spend it on. I don't look down on homeless people. Like, we're all just people. I'm happy to buy food. And the reason I'm saying this, and there's been situations I've broken up fights in public between people I don't even know. I broke up a fight between 2 girls once, and then a lot of people that I knew were telling us, "Oh, you shouldn't have got involved." I'm like, why? Like, they were fighting in a shopping center. I'm like, it's 2 girls, and I just broke them up. So the question I'm trying to ask, with the work you do, these days, do you ever see that in people where you do get people that sometimes you don't always see that human kindness, because to drive off and leave you there, that's disgusting. I'm like, come on, man. The guy could have,
I think that when I look online now, you see like horrible injuries and stuff. I think I've still yet to see an injury that looked as disgusting as mine. So I think the people are a bit squeamish. Kel's instant reaction was to look away.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's my friend of mine at that time for like 8 years, so he's not going to run away from me. But his initial reaction was to turn away, and then he composed himself and came back. But it was a disgusting injury. It was horrific to see. I don't think there were many people that be able to stand that sight. It was horrific. So I can understand from their point of view. It was just like an instant reaction. Oh, that's disgusting. They just drove off, but it's not a problem. Eventually, we got the help we needed. It was all right. Luckily, it wasn't bleeding out because it was like a compound fracture, so the skin was wrapped around the bone, and you could see my ligaments and tendons and stuff. It was disgusting. Looking back, I've got the mental image. It's a shame we never got a picture of that, but I think we were a bit too busy trying to get help rather than taking pictures. But I've got the mental image, and it wasn't a nice side. So I let them off. Just think of the positive. I think they were just like disgusted from what they saw, and the instant reaction was just to drive off. But we got the help we needed. We ended up getting the help that we needed. Got to the hospital and got things sorted. So it's not too bad.
That's all right. I mean, look, people make mistakes in life. It is what it is. You mentioned lessons you've learned from Brendan Ingle. I've had the opportunity to speak to him before, and I'd say for me, I think the best thing I ever learned from him is we're similar. Like to me, I just look at people as people. So even if
Yeah.
you're Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury, yeah, you've done more than me in boxing, but you know, I won't say you're better than the next person. What are some of the lessons you've learned from Brendan Ingle?
When you've been around, when you spend time around Brendan, it's not like there's not things that you just think, oh yeah, that was. It's so many, so
Oh,
many.
okay.
It's life changing sort of stuff. So it's not like I can pick one. Like I said, it changes lives, not just my life. There's thousands of people's lives that it's changed that people don't know of. People that didn't become fighters, but he had an impact in their life, a positive impact that helped them and guided them to do something else positive in their life. Like Dom said in the previous interview I did, it's not boxing alone as well. Brendan, I give credit to Brendan, but Dom said about boxing, it helps so many people. Again, it's not about producing the champions. Obviously, we produce champions. Champions are produced through boxing, but it's the help that it gives them mentally, helps them, allow them to become better people. And that's again through Brendan's skills. But again, I can't just point out one example. There's too many. It's constant. Every day there'd be something that you gain without even knowing. Looking back now, it's just he helps mold people. He molded me into the person I am today. Obviously, my home life was good as well. Mum and dad did very good, and then Brendan had that extra impact, and it just the whole package. It's just unbelievable. I can't really point my finger on one example. There's that many.
Okay, that's cool. Um, so you got the judging from last night. I did a video on it. People have been talking about it. I've actually applied for British Boxing Border Control licenses. I should have done it 10 years ago, but I'm doing it now. What do you think about the bad decisions we see in British boxing? And the quickest way I can explain it, when you get people like Adam Smith and Ben Shalom talking about it, Adam Smith got very emotional. But when I see him, but I'm going to ask him, but why don't you just get rid of these people? Just refuse to work. Because like what Dominic says to me, Dominic Ingle, he'll let me spar some of the boxers, but he'll only let me spar them if they're not in camp. So I'd say it's the same with referees and judges. Some of them, if you're incompetent, I'm not going to judge you as a person, but if you can't do the job, then just don't give them the job. But you know, what do you think can be done about it?
To be honest, it's a tricky one because it's the British Boxing Board of Control. It's like a boys' club, isn't it? It's the same group of people involved for how many years? I don't know. For the 10 years that I've been the professional, they were the same people involved then. And it seems like the 10 years before that, it was the same. And the 10 years before that, they're just getting older, but they're not really recruiting many new faces. If you see on the scene, there aren't many new faces. Again, the 10 years I was a pro, there aren't many new faces from 10 years ago to now. So it seems like I say, it's a young boys club, old boys club, should I say?
Yeah.
The same people, and we've had this problem for so long, but nothing's changed, has it? There's an outcry. They'll say, yeah, we're going through the process. They'll bring the person, the three judges in, and nothing will happen. So really, again, that the professional side of the game for me, that's not a problem that I worry about anymore. I'm no longer in that ring. I'm associated with is in the well, some people are, but you know, it doesn't affect me, so I don't really get wound up. My blood pressure doesn't raise. I was upset for Bradley Ski, that situation, that was discussing again. But what happened? Nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Exactly. Again, Bradley is a friend of mine, but I was upset for him. But again, nothing happened, nothing changed. It's going to be the same again. I feel for Jack Catterall. I trained with the same trainers as at one point, which both trained with Haroon Headley. I trained with Haroon for a year. He spoke good things of Jack Catterall. But I didn't expect him to do that yesterday. I expected Josh Taylor to win comfortably. Jack Catterall came out there and put on the performance of his life and should be waking up today as undisputed light welterweight champion of the world, but he's not. And in 5 years' time, everyone's going to forget about that. Apart from Jack Catterall and his family, no one's going to be bothered about Jack Catterall no more in 5 years' time. Even though Josh Taylor's going to move up, the titles will become vacant. He'll become a world champion. Jack Catterall is more than good enough to prove that yesterday. But will he become an undisputed champion of the light welterweight division and put his name in the history books? He won't realistically, really. That was a golden opportunity yesterday, and he should have done.
Yeah.
But now, hopefully, he does go on and become a world champion. The odds of him becoming an undisputed champion are very slim. They're slim for anybody. How many have we had in the history of boxing? Is it 6 or 7? Jack should have been the 7th.
Yeah, very few.
Jack should have been the next in line, really. But that's unlikely to happen now. And that's sad, really. It's very, very sad. Again, we'll forget about it in weeks' time. But Jack will live with that live with Jack for the rest of his life. they don't think about that, do they?
No.
That very sad.
It's a shame. On more positive news, yeah, look, I was at the public workout and the press conference for Brooke Khan. I've known those two for a long time, but mostly for media events. I've been in the gym with both of them. But obviously, you've been friends with Kell Brook for a very long time. And, I remember I spoke to them July, like 2010. I interviewed them in the same week about that
Yeah.
fight, just that long ago, yeah, 2010. So the fight's finally happened. Kell Brook's knocked out Khan. What did that fight mean to you? Being so close to Kell.
Yeah, no, obviously I've known Kel from 15, he's a friend of mine, but people don't realise Amir Khan, when I was coming up in my early 20s, I had a few decent Sky Sports nights and there was a little bit of a buzz around me. There weren't very many young British Pakistanis coming through at that time. 8 years ago, there weren't very many. And Amir Khan saw that I was coming through, I was doing well. And I've had meals at his house, I've met his whole family, he's took me out a few times. People don't really know that. But he did just because knowing that I trained with Kel, that would never bother Amir. Just because I was a young Pakistani boxer coming through. He supported me, and obviously I have massive respect for Amir for that because it did help me. It helped me a lot. Great experience. I had some good times with Amir, a lot of good times. But obviously my loyalties were always with Kel, and he knew that, but he still helped me out where he could. But I was, to be honest, the fight, obviously people saying it was 5 years too late. It probably was. Even if it happened 10 years ago, the result probably would have been the same. Kel was always too big and too strong for Amir, and that's what it showed. That first lead backhand that landed and stunned him in the first round, that was the writing was on the wall. Amir never got back into the fight. The first minute was sketchy. It looked nice, it looked good. Amir let a few flurries go, but then once Kel landed that backhand lead left hand, I knew from then the fight's already won. My blood pressure dropped. It relaxed back down. Good. But it was a great atmosphere. That was probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced. What an atmosphere that was.
Wow. What have been some of the other great atmospheres you've experienced?
I've been in America when Kel beat Sean Porter. I've been when Kel fought Golovkin. That was a good one at the O2 Arena. That was good. I was at the Lomachenko, Luke Campbell. I was at Kel against Errol Spence at Bramall Lane outdoor boxing. That one. That was a great experience as well. That was a good atmosphere. But I think that Khan and Kel one, I think all the people that were there, they say that's one of the best that they've ever experienced. And some of the people at Sky, they've been around boxing. They've been to a lot more shows than I have. But they said that was right up there. So it was unbelievable. The noise was just constantly. It was just up there. It was a good night.
No, definitely. I'm happy for him, and yeah, but Khan's always showed me kindness over the years, and he helped you when he didn't really need to. So I've always liked him and his dad. They're good people, and I wish him well. If he wants to retire now or whatever he wants to do. But something about you, you seem to you've built a life for yourself outside of boxing. Why do you feel so many boxers don't? And what advice can you give them?
I feel for me, what helped me was religion. In 2019, there was a month where I was a bit lost, and my faith kept me strong. Because imagine being 25, having these big hopes and dreams, and being told that your career's over. I didn't have no this backup plan. I had to create a plan for myself, and again, I give all praise and glory to God. That's me. That's what gives me strength and guidance. And again, that's the credit and all glory goes to God. Because without that, I wouldn't know. I don't know where I would be. Simple as that, mate.
It's a good mindset. Obviously, religion does have a lot of positive benefits. And to finish off, where can we what sort of plans have you got in future? Do you ever see yourself trying to get kids into amateur boxing, anything like that?
Yeah, we're in the process of getting affiliated again. All the kids I work with are novices. I've got a few good ones. I've got a very, very good girl that I'm training. She's exciting. And I've got a few decent lads as well. So they're only young yet, teenagers. So we're in the process of getting affiliated, and we're looking hopefully by summertime break, September, I think they'll be ready to box and we'll be on the circuit, amateur circuit. I want to bring them through like Brendan did. I want to have the kids from the start. And there are, like I said, nowadays in boxing, I was talking to someone earlier and said there are no coaches really that do what Brendan did. There's no one in this. Obviously, Dominic Ingle, we've got Kid Galad still in Kell Brook, but the rest, there are no new kids coming up in any of the professional fighters, trainers. trainers. They don't have anybody that they've had from scratch. And I want to have the kids that I've had from the start now. That'll start with me 6, 8 weeks ago, to hopefully 10 years time, getting them turning pro and doing well. But again, for me, even if they don't turn pro, if I can have them from 11 to 16 and give them the lessons that they need and help them in life and give them confidence, and they can go on and do whatever they want, go to university or whatever else, but they can take the skills that they've learned from the boxing gym and transfer them into any other walk of life. That's more important to me than anything else.
Okay, no, I definitely respect that. And yeah, obviously not everyone's got the work ethic. You know, are you willing to? Because obviously when you see someone on the world class level, obviously everyone chases them. But are you willing to put the effort in with someone starting from scratch? You know,
That's
so
the difference.
that's the difference with Brendan or yourself. But I mean, I'll definitely keep track of your journey. And yeah, I wish you well. And how can people get in touch? What are your social media accounts?
Thank you very much. So I've got my own social media, Instagram at Unique Shafiq, and then we've also got Unity Boxing Centre. So that's the gym. So again, they're the two. You can Facebook, Atif Shafiq. Again, on Facebook, we've got the gym as well, Unity Boxing Centre. That's what it's all about, unity.
No, good stuff, man. I love it's a great principle. I wish you well, and I'll be in touch. I'll try and come down and visit you guys sometime.
More than welcome.
That's great. Thanks a lot
Cheers.
for your time, Atif.
Thank
Have a great weekend, mate.
you. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.